Half-centuries from Jim Allenby and Craig Overton helped Somerset recover from another indifferent start as the spoils were just about shared on the opening day of the LV County Championship game with Nottinghamshire at Trent Bridge. Chris Reed would have been pleased to have won the toss, and a decision to bowl first looked spot on as Marcus Trescothick was bowled by a beauty from Vernon Philander in the match's first over. Somerset have started this season badly with 3 championship defeats, and they made a bad start here, although it could have been worse. Johann Myburgh was dropped by Ricky Vessels off Philander, while the same batsman would have been run out if Samit Patel had realised just how much time he had, with Myburgh well and truly stranded after being sold a dummy by his partner Tom Abel. Abel was soon on his way as Philander delivered a telling opening spell, which perhaps deserved even more than the 2 wickets it yielded. It probably felt like deja vu for the visiting batsmen who, James Hildreth aside, have struggled for runs this year. Along with Myburgh, Hildreth began a fight back which lasted for 21 overs and added 78 runs. Nottinghamshire were not as good once Philander was out of the attack, and it looked as if Somerset were in the end going to have the better of the morning session, until they lost 3 wickets in 11 balls just before lunch. Stephen Mullaney is getting a reputation as a partnership breaker, and he came on to bowl Myburgh in his first over, the batsman on his way for 49. Hildreth followed him back to the pavilion in the next over, Philander back on to knock out his off stump as Hildreth departed without playing a shot for 32. Then Mullaney made it 2 in his first 8 balls as Tom Cooper got in a muddle and used the back of his bat to send this ball into the hands of James Taylor in the covers. That left Somerset on 101 for 5, and Notts would have been hoping to remove them for not much more than 200. Philander thought he had a 3rd wicket to remove Peter Trego, who was then dropped in the gully off a fierce cut off Jake Ball. That was a stroke Trego had already used to score him some runs. This was a typical Trego response. He likes to fight fire with fire, and that's just what he began to do with Allenby supporting him well, as he finally got his career with Somerset moving in the right direction after an indifferent start since his move from South Wales. Again, it was Mullaney who broke the stand, which was worth 85 runs. The all-rounder removed Trego's middle stump with the 3rd ball of his new spell, the batsman on his way for 41. This time, though, more wickets didn't fall in a cluster, and that was thanks to Allenby, who reached his first championship half-century for his new employers off 61 balls, that being his 8th 4. It was the kind of knot the 32-year-old produced time and time again when at Glamorgan. How his side needed this from him on this occasion. Trent Bridge is a ground which holds fond memories for a man who won the T20 tournament here while at Leicestershire. Nottinghamshire kept plugging away, and Luke Wood found some movement through the air to bowl Lewis Gregory for 17 at 229 for 7. That became 241 for 8 when Allenby gave Philander his 4th wicket of the day with an edge to Brendan Taylor, the batsman on his way for a day-changing 64. Also altering the complexion of this day was the innings of Overton. He showed last year that he can bat by scoring 3 50s, including a 99. He quickly decided that the best form of defence was to attack, and attack he certainly did, as he raced to another half-century. One which arrived off only 28 balls after he smacked Mullaney for 3 4s in an over, before going one better than that off ball. Overton had hit 11 4s in his rapid 50, which brought up his size 300, something which looked a very long way off when they lost those 3 wickets just before lunch on a helpful pitch for the seamers. Overton was dismissed by Harry Gurney to his 31st delivery, but by then he'd made 55 very valuable runs, just when his side so desperately needed them. 7 of the Somerset wickets were bowled, Tim Groeneval the last to go that way after offering a bit of help to Wood. Somerset, though, would have been happy with their 312 all out. Nottinghamshire lost 2 wickets in the 24 overs they had to face in reply. Mullaney was eventually given out LBW to Gregory, not that the batsman enjoyed the decision a great deal. He was out for 19, while Greg Smith, in for Alex Hales, made only 8 on his Notts debut before falling in the same way to Groenewald. The 2 Taylors, Brendan and James, then saw out the remaining time as Nottinghamshire ended the day on 57 for 2, with plenty of work still to do on the second morning to keep in touch with their opponents, who had one of their better days so far this summer.